Well, howdy. You must be my little shadower. My name is Cliff, but you can call me Boyd if you want.
A pleasure to meet you, Cliff. My name is Marnie. I hope I do not get in your way too much. I am super excited to have this opportunity to see what an average day is like in radiology.
You'll be just fine. Please ask me any and all questions you have about X-ray. Tell me, do you understand some basic physics of X-ray?
Well, I do know radiation can be dangerous, and that there is no safe amount. So, you want to keep the exposure to the patient low, right?
Yes, Marnie, you got the idea. We read texts of a saying, keep the exposure under control and follow ALARA. That stands for as low as reasonably achievable.
That is a catchy phrase, Cliff. So if I wanted to follow this ALARA, how would I do that?
There are three cardinal principles in radiology: time, distance, and shielding. Ideally, little lady, you want to minimize exposure time, maximize your distance from the source of the radiation, and maximize shielding. We do that with lead. X-rays have a hard time penetrating lead.
Cliff, I have a question. What is the inverse square law?
Well, the inverse square law is a mathematical formula that measures radiation intensity at different distances. It tells you how much radiation would reach you if you were moved, say, 5 feet away or closer than from where you are currently positioned.
Oh, wait, isn't that the density maintenance formula?
Well, Marnie, the density maintenance formula tells you what adjustment you need to make to your technique to maintain optimal radiographic density at different distances.
Okay, I see. Boy, there sure is a lot of math in your line of work, isn't there?
Sure is. Well, it's like we always say here in the department, go figure. So, part of our general safety principles, we also need to keep in mind all the ways we can reduce patient dose. There are so many ways.
Do they involve math too?
Honestly, some do. We really need to be aware always of the importance of unnecessary exams. Sometimes a call to the ordering physician is in order if multiple exams of the same body part are involved. In cases like that, you can combine these views, like a hand and a finger.
I see.
Listen, you always want to avoid repeat exams at all costs. Check, and recheck for the correct patient, body part, side, and exam. Make sure you are using the correct markers on the correct side. And please position the patient and the tube properly.
And that's it?
Hardly. You need to use proper collimation, so you do not cut off pertinent anatomy, and shielding needs to be properly placed to protect the patient without obscuring the anatomy you need to see. It is an art.
Are you done now? It's almost lunchtime.
Just a couple of more things, Marnie. Make sure you are using the correct technique. Repeats are also caused by structures not being visible due to incorrect KVP or mass. Use optimal KVP in the lowest mass setting for optimal image quality.
Oh, sorry, that was my tummy rumbling.
Patient safety is a big part of my job, Marnie. If you were my patient, I would need to protect you from unnecessary exposure. One way is through positive beam limitation. This is a handy-dandy automatic response on the X-ray machine. When your film is in the bucket, it prevents the collimation from opening wider than the cassette size. Grids are devices used to help clean up unwanted scatter from reaching your film and causing fog. But when a grid is used, the tech needs to use a higher technique, meaning a greater dose to the patient.
Cliff, what if the patient is pregnant? What if the patient is unsure if they are pregnant? What happens then?
We always ask women of childbearing years the date of the last menstrual period. If it has been longer than 10 days, we ask them if there is any possibility of pregnancy. If there is uncertainty, a pregnancy test is run. If it is negative, we continue with the exam. If it is positive, then the patient and the doctor need to talk about the risks involved. We need to be sure we harm no one.
Wow, there is so much to take into account when doing X-ray. I need to go home and figure out if this is what I want to do. I think X-ray is. But then, there is always being a socialite. That could be fun. What do you think, Cliff?